Hello everyone, welcome back to Tiny Bunny. Hope you're all doing well. We're gonna continue where we left off yesterday with Katya verbally assaulting us. Hey, I was the first to ask him. Katya slithered up to me like a venomous snake, inserting herself between me and my classmates. Alright, so what happened last time is we drew a person for the police, and the police took it as a lead, so now everybody thinks we're cool and wants us to draw them. Anton has already promised to draw me as a sign of friendship. Da-da-da. Tell them, Anton. Yeah, right. I thought flashed through my mind. As soon as I showed some promise, Katya immediately decided to befriend me. Sorry, but I already promised someone else. I saw Katya's face contort slightly, but she didn't say anything back. I rushed to squeeze myself through the laughing classmates, looking for Polina. But instead, I stumbled into my new buddies. Romka and Biasha were waiting for me at the notice board. I was right about you, Toshik. Attaboy. You didn't rat us out. You know us roughing up, Porky. This would have been the police, given the police a false lead, I think. Are you sure you have nothing to do with Simon's disappearance? Semyon? No, what about you? Remember how you bailed on us in the darkness? Yeah. I was like, this Four Eyes is a beast. I will catch up with the fatso and end him, eh? What he said. But we believe you. Works both ways, right? Romka's stern look made me uncomfortable, so I nodded. Good to hear. Hey, Anton. Where did you learn to draw so cool? I got flustered, but tried not to show it. I picked at the floor of my boot instead. Well, you know, I could do it since I was little. Cool shit. I'm also, you know, an artist. Can burn pictures in the wood with a soldering tool, eh? Burn a tulip for my old woman's birthday on her cutting board. I mean, it's cool we know each other. Look, just don't get all cuddly here, okay? Ramka lowered his voice and looked around the corridor in suspicion. The other kids were stealing glances at us, whispering. So Syoma is missing, that's a fact. Not just missing, but most likely already dead. Biasha shuddered. How do you know that? Because we already talked about this. It's not the first time this had happened. Think Sinechka, Vova, Syoma went to Narnia, and they'll return from the forest after hanging out there, sucking on some candy. It's clear who got them. Can it be the Black? The serial killer? Sure as fuck, guys. It's the local Chikatilo, eh? Soviet serial killer and cannibal. He sexually assaulted and killed at least 43 people, mostly women and children. He was later deemed legally sane and sentenced to death by a firing squad. Jesus. An old man from Mom's work told me that he also saw The hair lip in the village. If only we could find out who he is. Well, if the killer offered Bobrin, he'll come after us too. Listen, while Tikhonov was giving his lecture, I snuck a peek at his files. There was an item there, a signet ring, the one Syoma wore, and I snatched it. No way, show us. I looked around like a thief, then carefully took out the stolen ring. Just like I thought, eh? The killer got him. He'll cut us to pieces too. Roma wasn't impressed by that information, he just nodded, looking grim. There was also a photo with a garage, a black one. Yasha looked like he was punched in the gut. He staggered and hid his face in his hands. Ramka rolled his eyes and swore, "Not this again." Calm down, bro, chill. Yasha, you've encountered the black garage before, right? Roma said that you even took a look inside. The Buryat kid started shaking all over, as if he was thrown outside naked in the middle of the winter, and every new question was like a bucket of cold water on top of that. What did you see there? Bleep, bleep, bleep. Ramka shielded his friend with his chest, clearly upset by my interrogation. Forget it. He won't say shit now. Yasha's brain breaks every time someone mentions this. Since you're with us now, I'll tell you this once. Ramka leaned in like we were some sort of co-conspirators, winced in disgust as if reluctant to relieve the memory, and spoke in a whisper. We were bored as hell last autumn, so we decided to play with black magic. You know, summoning the Queen of Spades or making fun of Pushkin's spirit, the usual stuff. But the result wasn't fun at all, bro. One old loon told us we might summon a real ghost if we break the one great taboo of our parents. Shit. I already knew he was bonkers back then. We only needed to go behind that row of garages late at night and knock on the fucking black one. That would make some black shit appear and take all the kids into a better world. What a fucking story. So we decided to take the bait as a joke. Piasho wrapped his hand around his head and let out a lengthy bleat. And when Piasho was doing the bravery test, he needed to knock on that garage, but the bastard took a peek inside instead. Maybe it was the right thing to do. He screamed so hard, tears splayed from his eyes. I tell you, I had never seen somebody this hysterical. Clearly inside of it wasn't the promised land. Since that day, the Black Garage has been snooping around our alleyways, gobbling up good fellas. What do we do now? Voltron like Power Rangers? Stay together, that's what? The three of us are like Voltron. Oh, no. Voltron, an anime series about 5 teenagers that pilot robot lions that can fuse into a single mega robot to protect the universe from the forces of evil. It was aired in the 1990s on Channel 2x2. Interesting. Biasha, who suddenly woke up from his shock, mumbled, there were 5 of them in Voltron, eh? Well, We're an injured Ultron then. He looked at me with an adult gaze and nodded. His eyes were full of worry and sadness. Whatever, since Sioma is no longer with us, let's go. You have a job to do. You keep watching for us. Everybody seems to be scared shitless of you. Scared shitless? Of me? While I couldn't wrap all that around my head, their attitude softened me up, and I agreed on the spot. If Ramka and Biasha through the twilight corridors of our school, I followed Ramka and Biasha through the twilight corridors of our school, savoring my newfound brazenness. We walked pompously, like heroes of some criminal drama, as if the three of us had access to some knowledge hidden from everybody else. Not sure I would have gone with them if they had told me what the goal of our campaign was. We hid in the darkness near the school gym. My companions started rubbing their knuckles, watching boys leave the dressing room. Finally, Biasha pointed at someone inside the crowd. Here's that sucker. Ramka smiled dangerously and proclaimed in a low voice, "Keep watch. If you see a teacher, let us know." Watch with all four eyes, eh? I stood at the corner, filled with conflicting feelings and thoughts. In a cul-de-sac behind me, Ramka was having a back and forth with some 5th grader. The boy was protesting on the verge of tears, but Ramka stood his ground, spewing countless obscenities at him, while Biasha occasionally adding a couple of words of his own. Would Dad praise me for involving myself with this? Alright, now scram. My new friends came out of the cul-de-sac. The light bulb illuminated the camera in Ramka's hands. Camera, huh? A light bulb illuminated the camera in Ramka's hands. Wow. A Polaroid? Is it yours? Ramka shook the black electronics marvel with a retractable flash, disinterested. It is now. There was this guy who owed me a bike for talking shit. Turned out he didn't have one. So he paid me with a cam. And I have jack shit use for it. Felt bad for that boy, but all the negative thoughts disappeared when I looked at the treasured camera. I could clearly imagine how happy Olya would be with this Polaroid. I imagined myself taking pictures of my sister, dad, and mom. The faces of my family would gradually appear on the hard paper as if emerging from the dissolving mist. I'd take pictures of Polina too. That way I'd be able to get her photo for myself. I'd keep it in my desk, under lock and key. If you don't need it, can I get it? Roma measured me with a sharp glare, turned into the Ramka I met yesterday, the callous leader of a carnivorous pack. Sorry, bro, but I don't throw away things like that. I can drop it at a pawn shop, or bet it on some game. For some reason, as soon as he mentioned a game, I remembered Elisa. I looked at the Polaroid. Alexa, stop. Well, then let's play for it then. Do you have a game in mind? Biasha snickered into his fist. Yo, Ramka, shall we make Atashka lose his shirt? Do I look like someone who'd strip another dude to you? Ramka stared at me from above. What do you have to bet? Do you even have cash? That's right. What's in your pockets, Tashik? I slowly turned the pockets of my pants inside out in vain hopes of salvaging at least some change from my lunch money. Something rustled in my pocket. I fished out the Mercedes-Benz insert I got thanks to Elisa. I guess I shoved it there without thinking when it flew out of my school bag with all the notebooks. Will you play for this insert? Yasha's eyes almost popped out of their sockets as soon as I brought the car's picture closer, but Ramka didn't move a muscle. Want me to bet a whole cam for some insert? That's... The gum is worth 1 ruble. This Polaroid has a fresh cartridge inside. Look, that's... I have a shit ton of inserts like that. Why would I want? Mercedes-Benz, eh? The one we're still missing, Ramka. Ramka spit on the ground and slapped Biasha over the back of the head. Why can't you keep your mouth shut? Now I'll jack up the price. Just like I suspected, this automobile was a valuable addition for every turbo gum collector. Aha, so this caught your eye after all. What are we gonna play? Sigdorak? Mumbly Peg. In the blink of an eye, a greasy deck of most likely marked cards appeared in Biasha's hands, and Ramka masterfully swung his butterfly knife in front of my nose. I had no desire to play by their rules. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. Oh, I see you're a gambler. Alright, my Polaroid against your Mercedes. Deal. Okay. Let's save. Alright. Let's do scissors. Nice. I raise my fist for the ceiling in triumph. Wait. We do the best of 5 here. Why didn't you say that earlier? Did you think it'd be this easy? Eh? What's with the pouting face? You already have the advantage here. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3. We're gonna do scissors again. We'll do scissors a 3rd time. Alright, we'll do paper. Aww. Paper again. Nice. Scissors. Nice. Looks like we won. I looked at my opponent with suspicion. So, do I win? Or do I need to beat Biasha too? Ramka mumbled something under his breath. He probably refused to play by the rules, and I'll be left with nothing. Hey Ramka, he won fair and square, eh? Nice. Alright, let's save that. Oop. Okay, and now that we got it, if there's an achievement for getting it, what happens if we lose?
Чего тоже приуныл? Играем, скажем.
I'm just gonna keep doing rock. Alright, he won.
Как два?
Финика ля комедия, Тофик.
А вот и
Alright,
вишенка
cool,
моей
there's an
коллеги.
achievement for both. Alright. Cool. Ramka reluctantly gave up.
Везучий ты, сука. Держи.
You're one lucky bastard.
Только
Here,
писюн свой не фоткай.
just don't take pictures of your wiener. I weighed the Polaroid on my palms and realized that I was smirking, like a true winner. It's been 7 days since the lieutenant visited our class. At first glance, everything was still the same. The force still held out its gnarly claws toward the village, and the wind whipped up white flags weaved from powdery snow every night. My parents argued in the other room. I would turn up the TV's volume to silence their muffled voices and sit close to Olya. Vova and Semyon's photos were still 2 black spots on the noseboard, and round-faced Senya hadn't returned home too. But something did change. I could see how different the looks of my classmates were. They made my pockets bulge with gifted apples, their animosity was gone, school wasn't scary anymore. But most importantly, a shadow slid across my desk, leaving behind a mysterious note. I glanced into the space between rows, but the messenger was already nowhere to be found. Who sent me this note? What could this carefully ripped out and neatly folded piece of paper be hiding from me? More threats and humiliation, or... I took the piece of paper and carefully inhaled the wafting aroma. Blackberry. I'll be waiting at a cul-de-sac near the dressing room. Come alone. Inside was a message in beautiful handwriting. Drunk on that sudden call, I immediately started walking, looking over my shoulder from time to time, making sure nobody was following me. Is it Katya? I didn't even notice how I almost broke into a run and jumped around the corner. As soon as I did that, I rammed into somebody inside the dark nook. Ow! Like a magic bird, a green notebook glided to my feet. Polina puffed her cheeks in exaggerating anger. Petrov, have you lost your sight completely? I fixed my glasses. My nearsightedness wasn't that embarrassing anymore. I bent down and picked up the notebook. Sorry, I was in a rush. Were you waiting for me? Did something happen? Polina studied me with her eyes and clicked her tongue. Do you know what you look like, Antosha? Like blues improv. I blinked in bewilderment. What do you mean? I always associate people I know with something. I do that too, but why music? It can't be anything other than music. Some people are like guitar solos, some are drums, some people like Lilia Palanova are war marches. And you're so thoughtful, so mysterious, sometimes even a bit sad. You're definitely blues. And what about the improv part? It's when the listener has no idea where the melody will go, what tempo it will adopt. Of course, some of the things Polina said were completely over my head, but I couldn't stop looking at her smile like a breeze in May, and her eyes deep in blue. One needs to have experience and taste to recognize the music in you. You're not some pop music. I don't even think I know what blues is. Polina gasped and frowned, which made her look even more beautiful. Don't say something like that to my face. I'll make sure to give you a cassette. Grandpa used to bring me so much music from the city. Jazz, swing, and classical too. He was the one who noticed my musical mindset. When I was still very little, I tried recording the sounds of nature on paper. The sounds of the rain and the forest. I wish I had ears like yours. And I'd love to have your eyes. I tensed up, worried that she was making fun of me, but Polina shook her head.
Да-да, я серьезно. У тебя
No,
глаза
no, I'm
художника.
serious. You have the eyes of an artist.
Смотришь на вещи и фиксируешь
You're
их.
so good
Это
at picturing
неуместно.
things. I can't do that. Katya walked past us with her trademark frosty glare. We dove into the shadows, trying to escape
Понимаешь,
it.
почему мы тут прячемся?
You understand why
Чтобы
we're hiding here,
заводить,
right?
как она.
Because of people like her.
А Катька какая мелодия.
And what kind of melody is Katya? Lena flashed a sly smile.
Скрип несмазанных дверных
The
петель.
squeaking sounds of an unoiled door hinges.
Знаешь, такой мерзкий дискант.
You know, this nasty descant. I giggled, covering my mouth. Katya didn't hear our whispers, but she suddenly glanced over her shoulder, clearly annoyed. A moment later, she sighed and went her way. I remembered about the notebook I was still clutching in my hand. I turned it in my hands. Instead of a subject name, the front side had the name of the owner in 2 words. Friends only.
Барбаре кое-что оторвали.
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
Это анкета?
I'm sorry, is this a questionnaire?
Заполнял когда-нибудь?
Have you ever filled one?
Угу.
I lied that I had. In reality, girl classmates from my previous school had never asked me to fill their questionnaires. It was quite upsetting. I mean, it was a girl hobby. You just answer a set of standard questions about your favorite actors and colors. But entrusting someone with such a notebook was the sign of friendship. It may be of something even more. Something I had a vague idea
Хочешь,
about.
заполни мою.
You can fill in mine if you want. My heartbeat quickened. I do, thank you. Polina
хотя-
giggled.
Там
Actually,
столько
there are so many
всего.
secrets there.
Наверное, лучше тебе не знать, о чем мы, девочки, думаем.
You'd be better off not knowing what we girls think. She reached for the notebook, playing with me. I tossed my finding into a free hand. Polina tried to intercept my move. Her hair briefly touched my face, tickling my nose with its silky locks. I sensed an aroma that immediately filled the whole world. Fragrant, alluring, lively. If only I could picture it, steal it for myself. I felt dizzy, but I gathered myself and spoke in a voice reminiscent of Lieutenant Tikhonov.
Ваша анкета является важнейшей уликой.
Your
и я
questionnaire
вынужден
is
временно
an
изъять ее для
important piece
изучения.
of evidence, so I'm afraid I have to confiscate it for further examination. Polina covered her mouth that rounded in fake
И
horror.
что мне грозит за сокрытие улик?
And what are the implications of concealing evidence?
Следствие покажет.
We'll decide that in the course of our investigation.
Сдаюсь, товарищ
I
милиционер.
surrender, Mr. Policeman.
Только обещайте ничего не
Just
читать.
promise you won't read anything.
Здесь содержится секретное
It's full of
сведения.
sensitive information.
Боюсь, что мне все-таки придется выяснить.
I'm afraid I have
он
to
ли кто
investigate
гражданина
whether someone
Петрова.
is in love with Mr. Petrov. Polina burst out laughing and pressed herself against my chest, showering me with the aroma of her hair and the milky skin that looked almost transparent, with tiny threads of veins running under it. Her whisper was hot, like a piece of butter sizzling on a pan.
Да поклянитесь, что не
And
станете
swear that you will keep this information private.
Честная милицейская.
I swear on my police
А теперь,
badge.
Антоша, самое время поторопиться.
And now we must hurry, Antosha. I took out the notebook during class, with utmost care as if some sort of fragile treasure. Skimmed through it, reading into other people's preferences. I was quite surprised to discover Romko's tricky handwriting inside. Huh. Romeo Pietifan, 6B, February, hanging out, buying a BMW. Stallone crossed out Schwarzenegger. Don't trust, don't fret, don't ask. 3/15/87, so his birthday's the same year as mine. DuckTales and Biasha. His letters bulged out of the cells, as if embarrassed by their shapelessness. Fearsome Romka found time for something so silly. I chuckled into my fist after I found out Romka's favorite cartoon is not even Darkwing Duck, but DuckTales. I mean, DuckTales is pretty awesome. Darkwing Duck's great too. Somewhere in the distance, the teacher was reciting pieces of Andreev's Snapper. I paid them no mind. Polina's page was decorated with flower drawings and clippings from the Cool Girl magazine. Polina 6B on Schubert, my birthday, listening, see the world, Robert Schumann, losing the people I love, 2/24/92. So my brother's age. Town musician of Bremen and grandpa. Her favorite music, yeah, okay. Her hobby is not violin like I expected, but a much more mysterious listening. Can such a mundane process really be someone's hobby? I looked at Polina over the heads of other students. She was focused on taking notes. What's your name? What class are you in? Your favorite music, your favorite holiday, your favorite hobby, what's your dream, your hero, best friend. Huh. Your phone number. I see, so that wasn't birth dates, that was phone numbers. And of class 6B. Car man. Favorite holiday, this one's easy, New Year's. My hobby is drawing. My dream, going to Disneyland, I guess. My hero. My hand moved on its own, writing da. I stopped on those two letters. What if those who read this after me will find my answer laughable and stupid? After thinking a bit, I decided not everything should be disclosed on paper. That's how Da turned into Spider-Man. The spelling was wrong, but who cares? Your biggest fear, huh? I immediately wrote, losing a person who's dear to me. Your phone number. No secret here. 30395. Favorite cartoon, Transformers, and your best friend. I hesitated, gnawing on the pen's cap. I remembered Elisa, gliding behind the trees, laughing enthusiastically from the shadows. I hadn't seen her in a week, and it even made me worried. After all, she was the one who stopped the colossus of a monster that wanders the forest of the night from tearing me to bits. I mentioned a masked girl to Romka and Biasha before, but they just gave me weird looks. I wonder what she's up to right now. Your best friend. I read the question out loud. It was easy, but at the same time, very important. My answer consisted of 3 letters, and I filled them in the cells with care. You. You, I repeated when running out of the school. Refreshing, frosty air made my cheeks turn beet red. It was bright outside and the sun looked like a whole egg yolk. The road looked as if it was silvered. The snow sparkled under the sunlight. I smiled, squinting from the blinding whiteness. There was also something magical in my chest that beckoned me. Because friendship can grow into something bigger. What's with the happy face, Tosha? I swallowed my smile and turned red.
Анекдот вспомнил.
I just remembered a joke. Piasha was shuffling his feet in the middle of the yard, his boots restless on the ice. Share it with me, eh? I rummaged through my memory and blurted out a random joke I'd heard today in the cafeteria. Why did the chewing gum cross the road? It was stuck to the chicken's foot. I see, Petrosian. Soviet Russian stand-up comic, colloquially known as the king of humorous remakes and dad jokes. Let's go, eh? He walked towards the school corner without waiting for me. I hesitantly tagged
А
along.
куда?
Where are we going?
Идем.
You'll see.
Мы теперь в одной связке и действуем заодно.
We're now in one pack, so we move together.
Твоя нужна в кое-каком дельце.
You'll need to help us with some small business. I felt chills run all over my body. I didn't like the sound of that small business. Those words, accompanied by spitting, normally hid very dark deeds underneath them. Strangers that used to call our old apartment used to say, "Get your old man, we have a small business to discuss." Piasha turned around. He looked like an astronaut in this tight hood. If I were to imagine him as a sound, he'd be a deafening whistle, a signal given by someone who stands watch. My knees started to shake as soon as I thought that I was about to be dragged into something shady. Images flashed before my eyes. Tikhonov's strict gaze as he shuts the prison cell door on me, my father hitting the bars in anger, Mom and Aaliyah crying nearby. To my demise, there was nobody at the backyard. Apart from the grim-faced Romka. Yes, sir? What's up? He stood there, his feet wide apart, with his right hand hidden behind his back. He must be holding a knife, a steel butterfly of death that flies toward a person's heartbeat. Romka's dry lips were tightly pursed. He kept shooting glances at me as he looked around. What's going on? It was as if Romka read and announced my thoughts. What's going on?
Ничего, проветриваемся на.
Nothing much. We're out for a walk, eh? Yasha's voice sounded nasty, snarky.
Проветривайся в другом
Walk some
месте.
other way.
И здесь нормально.
We like it here, right, baby? Baby, is he talking to me? I was so bewildered I wasn't able to squeeze out a single sound in reply. I just watched the bizarre scene played out in front of me by my new problematic friends.
Видишь? Ты ее напугал.
Look, you scared her.
Тебе какая забота,
What do you
говнюк?
care, shithead?
Вали, пока
Fuck off
цел.
while you still can. I was trying to digest what I heard. Did Biasha really call Romka a shithead?
Пацаны,
Is he out of his mind? Guys? Yasha ignored my weak protest and stepped toward Romka, swung at him in a weird, comical manner. Romka blocked the punch with his free hand, keeping his right hand behind his back. Even actors in Indian films that my mom loves fight more convincingly. Yasha started weeping even though I hadn't seen Romka hitting him. Ow, ow, ow. It hurts. I have a concussion now. Romka kicked him in the knee and Yasha fell to the ground, sighing and moaning. And I stared at the approaching Romka without blinking. His elbow was twitching and his hand crawled from behind his back. I grew roots into the asphalt. A blade will shine in front of me. Here it comes. Ramka yanked his hand from behind his back. My chief chattered from fear. A bouquet of snowdrops that appeared out of nowhere in this freezing weather swayed in front of my face. What's this?
Позволь
Flowers?
проводить тебя.
Let me
А то,
escort you.
сама знаешь,
You know,
шастают
there are
тут
all sorts
всякие
of
маньяки.
creeps snooping around here.
Ну а чё она? Бедным маньякам уже и посадку
What's wrong with the
нельзя.
innocent creeps doing a bit of snooping, eh?
Эх, хреновый из тебя маньяк, Бяшка.
You
Даже
make
Тоха не повелся.
for a shitty creep, Biasha. Even Toha here was not
А она нас в
phased.
2 счета раскусит.
She'll definitely see through our act. Words finally returned to me.
Что тут
She?
творится?
Who's she? What's going on here? Ramka snorted, blowing snowflakes off the
маленькая
flowers.
репетиция, братан.
A small rehearsal,
Хотели на
bro.
твою реакцию посмотреть.
Wanted to see your reaction. Biasha stood up and brushed himself
Руку в
off.
щёку одну втюрился.
Ramka here is head over heels for a
Вон
chick.
откуда-то цветы нарыл на.
Even dug up these flowers from somewhere, eh?
Пасть заткни.
Shut your
Я
trap.
так. Планируем
I'm
подкатить.
just planning a little pickup.
Разыграть представление. А то она
Like
преступная.
staging a performance for her. She's so damn unapproachable, you see.
Типа гуляет девочка себе.
She'll
А к
be
ней
just walking outside and then
докапывается
a
такое вот
shithead like him starts bothering her. Biasha grumbled, upset.
Говно!
I'm not a
говно.
shithead.
Ну и я такой ее раз и
And
спасаю.
here's where I come in. Bam, save her.
Ну, чё-то Бяш совсем бездарный актер.
But Biasha turned out to be a shit
Давай-ка
act.
ты маньяком будешь.
How about you become the creep?
Я?
Ну а
Me?
чё?
Yeah, you.
Как по телеку показывали. Маньяки вообще
I
всегда
saw it on
тихие,
TV.
скромные
Serial
люди.
killers are always these silent, shy types. Just like
А
you.
благодаря Катькиным сплетням
And thanks
все
to
в школе
Katniss
думают, что именно
gossip, the
ты
whole school
Бабурина
thinks
бокнул.
you were the one to off Baburin.
Давай, соглашайся, Тох.
Come on, Toa. Felt relieved.
Ah,
Nothing
что
criminal,
делать-то
just a
надо?
scene for a girl. What do I
Ты
need
же
to
видел
do?
Бяшино кривляние?
You saw Biasha's antics, no?
Идешь ко мне, борзый
You come at me
такой,
all
можешь
brave.
разок в
You
печень
can even
заехать,
punch
а
me
я
in the
тебе тут
stomach.
херак, и в
And
сугроб.
I'm like, ha! And you fly into the
Давайте
snow pile.
попробуем.
Well, let's give it a try.
Отлично.
Ramka livened up.
Бяша,
Nice.
меняешь пол. Ты теперь тёлочка.
Biasha, change of plans. You're a little girly now.
Гуляй.
Walk. Biasha started dragging his feet along in the schoolyard, grimacing.
Красивая
I'm a girly. I'm a pretty girly. I'm on a walk.
Действуй.
Your move, Toha. Your move, Toha. I went to Ramka, fighting an urge to smile. He hid his hand again and put on a stern expression. A
Она
5-star
моя.
actor. She's mine.
Рискни.
Let me see you try. And I tried. Threw a punch in the direction of my friend. Knuckles barely grazed his leather coat, and suddenly Ramka fell. Not for my laughable poke, of course, but because he slipped on ice. He plopped on his back with his full weight without a chance to get his hand out of the way. Petals from the squash flowers were left on the snow. I rushed to help.
Ой, бля. Да погоди ты, не дёргай.
Fuck. Wait, don't pull. Did you break anything? Ramka was carefully
Да не,
working his wrists.
ушиб вроде.
Nah, probably just a
Лёд
bruise.
приложить нужно на.
You should have put some ice
Тебя
against it, eh?
молока приложить нужно.
I'd rather put your moronic head against the
Об
wall
стенку башкой.
and smack it as hard as I can. Ramka was already laughing as he got up and gathered the
Да,
flowers.
если я так при подруге
Well,
навернусь,
if
можно
I
будет
go flying in
забыть.
front of that chick, I might as well forget
Давай
about
еще
her.
раз отрепетируем.
Let's give it another. Let's give it another go. Ramka shook his
Вечер,
head.
как рука пройдет.
In the evening, when my hand gets better,
Хочу опозориться перед первой
I don't want to
скрипкой.
fuck up in front of the school's first violin.
Гова-
Alright. I stumbled mid-word. Yeah, I thought so. A switch flipped in my head. It all made sense now. I remembered Ramka constantly sneaking glances at Polina. I remembered his scrawly handwriting in the questionnaire. Why didn't I study it more in depth? I felt like somebody hit me over the head with a giant hammer, making me sink to the ground. Polina. She was the main character of this play, directed by Romka, and I landed the role of the third wheel. I mumbled hesitantly. Alright,
Вот это я понимаю, команда Вольтрона.
now that's what I'm talking about, just like the
Один
Voltron's
за
team.
всех,
One for all,
На одного!
and all for one.
захлопни.
Shut it.
Если вдруг тебе понадобится помощь, Антох.
If you ever need help,
Можешь
Anta,
рассчитывать на меня.
you can count on
А
me.
теперь бывай.
See ya.
Вечером мы к тебе заглянем.
We'll visit you in the evening. The aftertaste of horrible water I drank down my meds lingered in my mouth. Yeesh. Bad translation. My thoughts were focused on Polina. But the play where I was assigned the role of a villain was also on my mind. I wandered around the house feeling intoxicated and nodded to everything my sister said without trying to discern her words. Olya was talking non-stop, at times lifting up her arms and laughing, only to then suddenly go quiet and give my mom's signature gnarly look. I was yanked out of the prison of my own mind, where seething thoughts pecked at my brain like harpies, stopping me from coming back to reality. I stared back. Olya looked like a mini version of our mom right now. Well, to be precise, she looked like the person Mom turned into when we moved here, with her intimidating posture and her eyebrows directed toward the ceiling.
You weren't listening to me, were you?
She tried spitting out those words at me, copying facial expressions of the person she spent almost all of her free time with. For a moment, I felt like Olya exuded all these years, waned and wavered in the wind of prolonged changes. Very soon my beautiful princess will turn into the dragon that was once guarding her prison tower. That thought was much scarier to me than any other horror sneaking up to me from the future. Sorry, Olya. I didn't want to make you mad, I just got lost in thought. I looked around the room. My gaze jumping from one object to another like a hungry beast, trying to find anything that could distract Olya. Let's play the console. Olya pouted, but there was a spark of interest in her small emerald eyes. The Snow Queen's ice shard inside them started thawing. What game are we gonna play?
Как же второй джойстик?
And what about the second controller? It's not working.
А папе починить некогда.
Dad has no time to fix it.
Можем из пистолета пострелять.
We can play with a light gun.
Хочешь?
Ooh, like Duck Hunt? What do you want to play? Cowboys? Ducks?
Меня играешь.
You better than me at both.
Ладно тебе.
Oh, come on.
День тренировалась, пока меня
You must have been
не
practicing the whole time I was away from home. Olya burst out laughing. Her heart was warm again.
Как ты догадался?
How did you know?
Я сейчас знаешь, какая
But I'm a good shooter now. You've already
на
lost.
того напала. Включай скорее.
You picked the wrong fight here. Come on, turn it on. I hid Semyon's signet ring in my desk drawer with the mitten. I was still unsure whether I did the right thing by stealing a crucial piece of evidence from the police. Then I relocated to my sister's room. Little Olya jumped toward the TV set, and after flicking the power switch, started blindly feeling around the backside of the photon, trying to plug the console's cable into the antenna input. Bits of TV shows started flashing on the CRT screen when I armed myself with the remote to look Home Alone. And firstly, look for the channel of the sought after Dendy signal. Did anything interesting happen at home? It was a mundane question for me. I didn't put any actual meaning behind it. But Olia's expression suddenly changed. She lost all of the childish nonchalantness she worked so hard to acquire before. What happened, Olia? My sister managed to put the cable in its place and started brushing off her dust-covered hand. She was clearly looking for the courage to continue the conversation.
Mom, she...
Olia went silent, and for a moment I thought I saw tears welling up in her eyes.
She had this scary thing happen to her. Again.
My sister looked at me with wet eyes. She had a fit, huh? This had happened before, but it was a rare occasion. Now that we'd moved to this godforsaken place, Mom's fits rose in frequency.
Dad brought home a big fish. It was wrapped in newspaper and had a foul smell. Mom got angry, and then she took a knife.
Olia squirmed, looking fearfully out the window.
They started screaming at each other.
I froze, imagining my little sister so small and unnoticeable, standing in the kitchen doorway. She wasn't even trying to hide. Our parents just paid her no mind at all.
And then Mom struck it. Like this.
Olia slightly moved her fist downward, imitating a strike. She hit
the fish. It was still alive, Tosha. It must have been in pain. And Mom.
It was easy to imagine what happened next. The writhing fish with a blade between its fins squirted some foul-smelling musk into Mom's face. Whenever death got this close to my mom, be it when a person was hit by a bus in front of us and their blood was smeared all over the windshield, or when Grandma chopped off a chicken's head, Mom would always get into a weird, dreadful fit. Her eyes would roll over and she would fall on her face like a freshly cut tree and start writhing just like an agonizing fish, turning over chairs and blurting out bits of scary sentences. And what about Dad? Did he help her? Olia shuddered as if remembering it pained her.
Yes, but at first... He started laughing, Tosha. An evil laugh when he saw that Mom was in trouble. But then he cried.
Olia's story made me raise an eyebrow. It seemed like the forest's oozing madness had not only completely consumed our mom, but also infected our strong and courageous dad. I quickly stepped toward Olia and locked her in a tight embrace. She dug her face into my chest and I could feel my shirt becoming wet.
Why are they bullying each other, Tosha? Are they crazy?
I stuttered, unable to justify the actions of our parents. I hear ya, Anto. I ran out of words and all I could do was hug Olia even tighter. BNG.
Turn off, quick!
No matter how many times she saw this intro, she would always react the same. Just like when she saw that owl. I mean, I also got goosebumps every time that ghastly face appeared on the screen, so I immediately complied with my sister's request. VID, a TV company logo depicting a ceramic head of the Chinese philosopher Gao Zhang with a three-legged toad on top of his head. It instilled horror in the whole generation of 90s kids in Russia. Alright, let's save. Finally, the game selection screen showed up for the cartridge that was bundled with the console. Goose Hunt. Too bad most of the games here were just different levels of the same game. Goose Hunt, Tank 1, Small B, Wild Gunman, Lunner Ball, Tank 2, Goose Hunt, Small B, Lunner Ball, Small B, Goose Hunt, Tank 3, Small B, Lunderball. Picked up the gray rectangular controller and started looking around the pixel. There was to find the familiar English word for duck. Background music from the menu soothed Dahlia's mind, and she asked in a calm voice.
How are things at school?
I made a couple of friends, I guess.
Wow, a whole 2 of them? Lucky.
Right? Didn't you say you saw a fox?
Yeah, her name's Elisa.
I immediately felt uneasy when my new acquaintance was mentioned. How do you know? Did she tell you?
Yeah. When Mom and I were throwing out garbage, she also said that she saved you.
Saved me? I remembered my fight with the delinquents in the forest and that mysterious whisper from the thicket. I remembered the fleeing Semyon and the horned giant towering above me with its outstretched hand. All that time I could feel Elisa's unseen presence, as if she was watching me from behind the crooked trees. Her smile stuck to her ginger mask. I shuddered, chasing away the delusion. Did she say anything else?
Mom came back so fast, I wanted to introduce them, but the fox had already ran off.
Aren't you afraid of her?
Why would I? Elisa's kind and so fluffy and pretty. Unlike that owl.
I plugged the light gun into the second controller port and listened to my sister's laughs.
I go first.
Alright. So it's a seal instead of a dog. Okay. Nice. Nice. Ah.
Считай, это я тебе поддалась.
I was going easy on you here.
Oh my. There we go. Nice. Nice.
Это ты виноват, что я промазала.
Oh, it's your fault I missed.
Oh god. Got one. Missed. Got another one. Got another one. Or two.
Неситова! Ты ближе к
You
экрану
won.
стоял! Я с тобой так больше
Мини.
не играю!
Okay, so we could either... I kind of wonder if there's an achievement for getting them all.
Антон! Антон!
Alright, let's try it again. I kind of want to see what happens if we lose. And then I also want to see what happens if you get a perfect score.
Откуда ты?
Да,
Не,
мама так быстро.
ты ее не боишь?
А почему это не то, что сам? Тюря первая!
Nice.
Считай, это я тебе поддалась.
Поиграли и будет.
Okay, we're done playing.
Антон! Антон!
Alright, let's try this again. Nice. Cool.
Считай, это я тебе поддалась.
Load. Cool. Alright. Missed. That's close. Cool. There we go.
Это ты виноват.
This is hard.
О, это ты.
Поиграли и будет.
О, это ты виноват.
Okay.
О, это ты.
Got it. This is tough. Oh, serious? They're so tough. Alright, that's one. Seriously? Nice. Nice. So it shot twice there. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Okay. Much closer, but still no cigar. Nice. Cool. Very, very, very close. There you go. Got it.
Неситова! Ты ближе к экрану
We got it.
стоял!
We took care of all the ducks. Okay.
Играю!
Alright. So... what if we lose?
Я первая! Ну-ка, от винта!
Let's get dangerous. Like Darkwing Duck. Nice.
Кто на новенького?
Ha, who wants some more?
I want some more.
Пиф-паф! Ой-ой-ой! Умирает
Bang, bang, you dead. You lost, Tosha.
Проиграл
You
Тоша!
made your sister happy. Nice. Alright.
Антон! Антон!
My mom only managed to get through to me on her third attempt. And Anton, there's a call for you. It's a girl. I sobered up in an instant and rushed to the hallway.
Не споткнись, смотри.
Watch your step. I grabbed the phone, pressed it to my chest, looking at my mom. She shrugged and went to the room, gathering the toys thrown about by Olya
Hello?
as she went. Hello? Your mom has such a young voice.
А, ну да. Она сама молодая.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's young. Are you busy right now?
Нет, что ты.
No, of course not. I wish you knew how costly this conversation would be for me, what risks I took on just answering this call. Okay. Hi, Benji. You're my favorite kitten, you know that? There was a pen and a shabby notebook lying on the nightstand. I picked them up and started moving the tip of the pen across the paper, producing chaotic doodles that always ended up turning into hearts. I've read your answers. Do you really like Carman?
Мне, если по правде, русский рок больше
I
нравится.
like Russian
Но
rock
я
more, to
почему-то
be honest,
постеснялся это
but I was
написать.
too embarrassed to put it there for some reason. And do you want me to be honest with you too, Antosha? Of course. My pen drew an outline of a girl's face, her eyes, her long lashes. Helena spoke in a hushed voice, probably to keep her grandpa from hearing.
I'm bored to death here.
Дома?
At home. In the village.
Никогда ничего не происходит.
There's nothing going on here, and if there is, it's always something nasty.
Пропавших детях.
And it's not even about the missing kids.
Музыки мало.
There's almost no
У
music
тебя же
here.
кассеты есть.
Do you have your cassettes? It's not talking about audio records. I mean, this place's voice,
Не мелодичный.
it's not melodic at all.
Телефонная игла.
It's
Скрипит.
rustling like a record player needle. It just squeaks and moans from time to time. It feels uncomfortable, suffocating. I don't know how else to explain this. My pen's tip drafted a house surrounded by
Кажется, я
tall
тебя
trees.
понимаю.
I think I
Моя
know what you
сестренка
mean.
говорит, что чувствует себя
My little sister
совершенно
says she feels like a prisoner here.
Вот и я. Я очень
Me
люблю
too,
дедушку.
but I love Grandpa. I don't want to abandon him.
Убежать.
Sometimes I just want to escape so badly, somewhere very far away. Into the forest, I thought half-heartedly, to run under the falling snowflakes that make your fur white and the branches that hide you
Я
from
как
prying
будто
eyes.
путешествую.
When I draw, I feel like I'm transported to another place. It's the same for me in the violin.
Убегаю по смычку в небо.
I ran up the bow straight to the sky. The bow, yeah. Or as I was drawing a butterfly knife, I crossed it over. Thinking of Romka ruined my mood. Should I tell her? Should I warn her about his plans to seduce her? I could throw a wrench into those plans. But what about our Voltron team? They may not be my best friends, but we're still buddies. Who would I become if I betrayed them? Oh god. Alright, I have a feeling this is going to be a choice. I don't know. Do we go for the girl? Or do we go for our buddies? I wish there was somebody in chat who could help us decide. Yeah, I don't know. I guess let's go for the girl.
Полина?
Paulina?
Я хочу тебе
Yes?
кое в чем признаться.
I need to tell you something.
Попросил меня об одном
Romka has asked me for a favor. I couldn't force out a sound, words slipped and fell down my throat. I started wrapping the telephone wire around my finger from nervousness.
Я тебя плохо слышу.
Hello, Anton? I can't hear you. I breathed out loudly.
Ромка сделал из меня маньяка.
Romka has made me into a serial killer. Ringing silence took over the call. Huh?
Он
What?
просил меня напасть на тебя.
He asked me to attack
Будто
you,
я какой-то монстр.
like some
Он бы
monster.
тут же объявился и героически
And
тебя
he's supposed to show up and save you like a hero.
спас. Полин,
Paulina? She didn't respond, so I blew into the handset. And? Did you agree? The tone of her voice became serious,
как
harsh.
ты могла подумать?
No, how could you think that?
Я ведь сказал тебе правду.
I told you the truth,
А Ромка с
remember?
Бяшей, после такого они мне
Romka
больше
and
не
Biasha,
товарищи.
we can't be friends after something like this. Oh, Anton, thank you.
Рада, что ты со мной.
I'm so glad to have you on my side. My heartbeat quickened. Anxious thoughts about losing Polina passed an imaginary torch to the thrill of meeting her very soon.
Легко рассказать такое.
Ooh, you were able to escape the friend zone. We got an achievement. Nice. That means there's choosing the other one too. I understand how difficult it was for you to divulge something like this. Hey, Snoop. Welcome in. Oh, beep boop bop, robot. You know, Grandpa always says that music can cure your soul. Do you want me to play you something for you? Where, at school? No, silly, after school. Will you come over to my place? I dropped my pen, struggling to believe in what I just heard. Then I rushed to get it from under the nightstand and ran my head into it. Ouch.
Почему бы и нет?
Oh, of course. Why not? Tomorrow after school, then. A bump was slowly bubbling on my forehead, but I almost didn't feel it. The doorbell rang before I could reply. My wandering gaze stumbled upon the door. Ramka and Biasha came to pick me up for the rehearsal, and I was supposed to help them lure away the girl I like. I'll have to pretend that I'm on their side. For Polina's
Подожди
sake.
минутку.
Polina, wait a minute. I made a couple steps and pressed myself into the door. The light bulb hanging on the outside illuminated the porch, and I could discern two short silhouettes through the frozen peephole. Look what the cat dragged in. Please wait, I'll be out in a minute. I returned to the phone and picked up the handset. I need to run. Me too. Me too. Thank you for lending an ear. My ear vibrated from the buzzing sounds. I do not understand what that says, Snoop. Sorry. I lowered the handset on the phone and snuck a peek at the staircase. My mom, engrossed in her favorite TV show, didn't hear the ringer. I put on my shoes and hat without warning anyone and slipped into the dark winter evening. I blinked, getting used to the twilight. The wind plucked at my cheeks. I carried the cold, resinous smell of coniferous trees from the forest. Freezing air crackled somewhere in the field. Two shadows loomed in the front of the gate. I could only recognize them as my classmates because of their height. I walked toward the fence, listening to the howling wind and squeaking snow. One of the figures moved and slowly glided through the thicket like an ice skater. I slowed down and touched my glasses, trying in vain to adjust my vision to the surrounding darkness. Worry landed on my shoulders like a weightless snowflake. A snake woke in my belly and started writhing. I felt nauseous. I thought about home, the flimsy fortress behind my back. Mom and Oya were sitting on the second floor of the warm house in front of the TV, watching the adventures of characters in Santa Barbara. I really don't want to be a part of Ramka's plan. And what I wanted even less was going there to the place where a double shadow was wavering in the wind. Why so slow, eh? We're freezing here. Biasha's voice was trembling and restless. Ramka was letting out clouds of steam. He looked deep in thought and in love. We're freezing to the bone, eh? Move it. I'm going. I heaved a deep sigh and walked forward, kicking snow piles. Biasha froze in place, facing the taiga. He was a hand's reach away, and I put my numb wrist on his shoulder for some reason, probably to make sure it wasn't a dream. A pointy beak was directed at me, strewn with feathers that formed an owl face. Interesting. Something wearing a bird mask was staring at me. To the bone. The voice sounded exactly like Biasha's, but there was somebody else hiding behind the feathers and the cardboard. I sprinted away as if somebody whipped me. The masked creature only pretended to be Biasha. They wanted to lure me out. I was running like crazy, drowning in snow. The house in front of me was rapidly growing. The yellow light in the windows granted me hope. My mom and sister are there, my salvation. I couldn't hear anything from behind me, as if nobody was chasing me. Maybe it's because the owls can fly? I was already climbing the porch when I noticed another figure. From the soot-black shadow of my house, a scruffy wolf cub crawled out and stood in my way. Its movements were jerky, chaotic, as if it was performing some terrifying dance, or convulsing during a stroke. Even though I could clearly see that the wolf face was a mask, something in the werewolf's convulsions made me freeze in place. The boy in a wolf's costume rubbed his side against the porch post and fell to his knees. He bent his back so hard that I expected his spine to crack. The beast's eyes shone. But he didn't attack. He kept crawling around, running on all fours. I shifted my feet, my mouth agape, trying to keep him in my line of sight. Something was trickling from the slit of the mask. Viscous drops fell to the wooden planks. Saliva. Some unknown force pushed me in the back, whispering me to save myself. The fence was flashing by at the edge of my vision. I was running in another direction this time, toward the toothy edge of the forest that smelled of pine. My heartbeat measured time. The wolf boy growled behind my back as if he forgot his human nature. My right leg got stuck in the snow-laden cavity. I yanked it out, cursing under my breath, and fell to the ground. Plastering snow prevented me from standing up, from propping myself against anything, but my unbound thirst for life helped me get out of this trap. Darkness was creeping closer, like the toxic fumes of burial pyres. I ran again, gasping for the air that stung my throat. My hair swayed in the wind. I lost my hat when I fell down, and my ears were now hot from the freezing cold, while most of my body was still sweaty. The field finally ended. After realizing that running into the forest wasn't the smartest decision I could make, I dove into the line of trees. I ran without stopping, my face covered with one of my palms. I didn't want to lose an eye to some random branch. Branches whipped my clothes, pricked my skin like butchers that were herding a pig to the grinder. A knot of roots sprouting from the ground grabbed at my foot. I rammed into the scratchy trunk, slid down to its base, and looked around in panic.
You're so fast.
My first desire was to dash toward her and hug her. I resisted it and squeezed myself even tighter into the pine. What are you doing here?
This and that.
She was holding the hat that I lost.
Working part-time in Lost and Found. Put it on, or your ears will freeze and maybe even fall off soon.
I squinted in suspicion and shifted my gaze back and forth between her and the hat, scared that Elisa might be holding a severed head or something even more sinister. But in the end, my hat turned out to be just my hat. I took it and pulled it over my forehead.
Feeling warmer?
I didn't reply.
Во дворе были какие-то дети.
There were some children in the yard.
And? Did they bite you or something?
No.
Then why did you run away?
The answer was obvious, but after rolling the thought on my tongue, I mumbled, I don't know.
Ah, why did I promise to never call you a dunce again? Oh well, I keep my promises.
She walked up to me and grabbed me by the elbow. I sensed the familiar aroma of mint, oranges, and burnt sparklers. I wanted to lean into Alice, to savor the minute details of her smell.
How many times do I need to tell you? You're safe as long as you're with me. I'm your friend. And they are too. I quickly turned around toward the place the fox girl was pointing to. Kids in masks appeared at the clearing. At least they looked like kids since they were all pretty short. So we've got a bear, a wolf, and an owl. Interesting. A wolf boy, an owl girl, and a bear boy. And they can mock voices. Okay, so there's 2 boys and a girl missing right now, right? Yeah. The girl's young. So I'm assuming this is this is the Vova. This is what's his name? I forget his name, but it starts with an S. And this is the little girl. They all huffed and gasped for air, clearly tired from running around. I thought you fell through the snow. Started digging around, but couldn't find you. And I didn't care enough. You see, if you're dumb, you run around and dig. And if you're smart, you wait until the others get tired of running around and digging. Then you start talking. You're a rat. A degenerate.
А?
Huh? Don't mind him, he's a weirdo. I stood there stupefied, my mouth agape and my hands dangling helplessly. I had no idea how to react to the words of these late-night guests, but I managed to squeeze out something resembling a smile.
Вы меня напугали.
You just scared me, that's all. Interesting. I'm terrified. They started looking at each other, and somebody even snored as if I said something funny. Yes, the fox is right. He's the one. No, this is ours. We finally found him. Our bunny. Yes, he looks the part. The wolf boy started wagging a part of his costume like it was his tail in excitement. First? Of course you were first. Wolfie here was the first to sense the bunny in you. He told us about you. Hello. You've already met our Hootie before. She isn't that scary, is she? I guess. And this smiling big guy is Teddy. Be mindful with him or he'll chew off your head. What? I see you've also dropped your sense of humor somewhere on the way here. I was still unsure if these particular little animals had the best intentions in mind, so I hid my hands behind my back, trying to look away from the gaping holes of their carnival masks. Elisa put her hands to her sides in a theatrical manner and somehow managed to wink with her fox face. The next time we come, we'll ring bells for you. That way you'll be less scared of our visit. Do we even have any bells? I won't be ringing. My paw hurts. The smile was no longer fake. My paw hurts. Yeah, from the cut ring finger, right? Missing the finger. So yeah, that's definitely yeah, whatever. Yeah. Solia, I think. My smile was no longer fake. Ah, you show us your teeth. That's a good sign. I didn't expect you to find us fun. I thought it was an emotion reserved strictly to Disneyland. How do you know about that? I read about it somewhere. You read about me? Aren't you funny? No, about Disneyland, darling. You can read human? Do you think I've been going to school every day for nothing? So who does she represent? Is she Katya? No, she would have been a missing person as well, but she might be a spirit. And then she sang in a coquettish voice. We're to learn about neglect. Kids every week ready to prey on all the meek at your local school, of course, and in your classroom. Interesting. I let out a cautious laugh. My new acquaintances didn't seem scary anymore. On the contrary, they looked friendly and welcoming. There was something about them that attracted me. Just like this clearing, this moon, and the snowflakes that fell backwards. Oh yeah, they're falling upward from the ground to the sky as if someone was rewinding a tape. Sorry. The masked kids got close and I felt their touch. They gave me friendly taps, felt my clothes as if checking whether I was real. There was no animalistic malice in their touch, only pure childish curiosity. For some reason I thought to myself, I can trust them. Snowflakes just kept on floating upwards. Nobody will hurt you anymore. Friend. Yeah, if somebody even tries to. The fox gave me a slight tug and burst out laughing. Well then, Tosha, will you run away, screaming, or come with us? Where to? The amusement park. At that moment, Taiga's deceptive silence was broken by the sound of a distant flute. Mesmerizing and alluring, it brought about the ring of crystal glass and the whispers of a fresh winter spring. If I had any doubts before, the flute's song shattered the last of them. I started following my new friends before I could even make my decision. My legs carried me on their own will, and the tunnels, made of pines, stepped apart. Bushes bowed in front of our procession. Bowed. Everything looked dreamlike. Because even the clearing we ended up on, I only saw in my dream. The flute soared up in the treetops like some fantastical bird. The snowflakes floated up in a spiral. The moon painted tree branches with silver. Elisa gasped in amazement. I was also in awe. I tilted my head backwards as far as I could. Ooh, what a sight. It's so beautiful. This is nothing. I can show you much more, if you want. I did want. I wanted to see what the fox girl saw with her eyes, hidden in the semi-dark of her cape. Now, I didn't feel weird about these masked kids. I felt weird for being the only one without a mask. I felt like I was naked in the January winds. Why do you wear these masks? I was trembling, but I wasn't scared. My trembling wasn't caused by the cold. It originated from the peculiar anxiousness, the anticipation of something amazing. And why do you ask? I touched my cold cheek. I'm not wearing one. I love human tails. Human nails? Human fails. I've already told you. All the villagers wear masks. It's just you won't find anything human underneath them. Even me? You're so clumsy, Anton. We've already found your glasses once already. And your hat. And your real face.
I looked at the mask the fox was holding out to me. The bunny mask that looked like a silver ingot in the moonlight. I was curious to see the world through its slits. Looks like we're taking it. Suddenly, fighting its way through the flute's melody, a thought came to me. The glasses they found were in Semyon's. There it is, Semyon's possession. My new acquaintances must have known what happened to him. Or even worse.
Что с ним стало?
And where did Semyon disappear to? What happened to him?
И с остальными детьми.
And the other children? The bear and the owl looked at each other. The wolf boy curled into a ball, and the fox lowered the pointy nose of her mask. The one who was kept in a cage? The one who cuts little pieces raw? The one who wears a skin face took them? If I knew how to cross myself, I'd do it. So you're saying it was a human? Were you even listening to us? How can you call someone like him human? There's just one word for him. Adult. It's so easy to get lost in the adult world. Killers, cruel animal trainers, and cold parents. If you don't want to get sad, better not to think about them. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to be sad. Somehow, I'm not sad today. What about you, Anton? Huh? I was lost in thought, staring at the pines, trying to pinpoint the location of the flutes. I was sure that the person who played it was standing right behind the piney stockade. Someone tall, going over the holes in the flute with their long fingers. What now? Are we gonna sit and be sad or have some fun? Elisa, I wanted to show me something. Let's start with the sweet stuff. The fox girl took out a handful of candy from her pocket and handed them to each of the kids. Covers shuffled. The smell of pineapple, cocoa, and melon wafted through the air. The last treat, a chocolate-covered waffle candy, Elisa put right into my mouth. My tongue was engulfed in spiciness. I felt like my body was covered in fur and small sparks were running along it. I chewed on the waffle and the chocolate, gulped them down, enjoying the vivid taste. Thanks. My gratitude was barely audible because my lips were already touching the insides of the mask. I didn't even notice how I put it against my face. The paper mache was warm, the mask stuck to my skin, giving it a nice prickle. The kind when you dive into a hot bath after being outside in winter, when you lie there and purr from the soapy water. See, I told you, this is yours. Mine. What are you waiting for? The fun won't have itself. The melody kept swirling in the field like a hurricane. Did we miss something? The owl swallowed for a second. Nope. Okay. I couldn't wait to release the energy, the heat that this enchanting music was filling me with. The owl jumped and disappeared into the sky. I heard her laughter from somewhere above, and then she landed back, huffing and sighing. You can do it, too. Give it a try. I followed suit. My feet tore off from the ground. I flew toward the stars like a rocket and screamed from happiness after seeing my friends down below. The wind helped me fly. It felt like I was jumping on a huge trampoline. Interesting. The stars looked like vivid sparkles that I could reach and light up. The moon also got closer, and then I plunged. I got scared that I'd break my legs for a moment, but my soles landed softly on the ground and I regained my balance. You're safe with us.
And all your dreams will come
Я так
true.
счастлива наконец обрести
So happy that
тебя.
I finally found you.
Зайчик.
Bunny. In a fit of merry laughter, I realized the most important thing. These four are not a threat. My real enemies, and I felt that with every hair on my mask, were those who knew nothing about magic. Humans from the village. I also realized how alive my surroundings have become. I heard the dry grass under the snow moan. I saw faces of the trees and the stars. The trees were smirking and the stars were grimacing in fear. Oh, that's right, be scared. I'll jump up to you and... I snapped my teeth and let out a jubilant laugh, jumping up along with the fox. We flew higher than the tallest pines and stayed up in the air. I swirled. Elisa followed my rhythm. I knew that she was smiling, so I smiled too. And the flute just kept on playing, carrying us higher and
Чего опять
higher.
в облаках летаешь?
Hey, got your head in the clouds again? Not with you around. Not with you around, I thought, trying to unglue my chin from the dusk. Were we dreaming? My muscles felt slightly sore, but that feeling was pleasant. The whole class was wandering about for some reason, whispering and passing notes to each other. Their faces looked like discolored masks to me, bleak and boring. I yawned, remembering the time I was soaring high above the forest, with Lisa by my side, laughing and squeezing my hand. Probably, it was all just a dream. Because I didn't walk back from the forest, just woke up in my bed on a normal morning with tea and medicine. Still, I was hardly worried about trying to find a rational explanation for my night dance. The feeling of flight was much more important. The knowledge of how it feels to be hanging in the air above the treetops of majestic pines and baring my teeth at the moon. What do you want?
Чё? Пока ты носом клевал, Катька пропала.
What do I want? While you were nodding off, Katya went missing. My sleepiness was gone in an instant. I frowned in suspicion. What do you mean? It can't be. Huh. It's last seen during the day on January 16th at the schoolyard. Fur hooded coat, a knit hat with a pom-pom, a white scarf, and gloves. Special identifying features. Wears a strawberry themed scrunchie. So what if Katya is the fox? Okay. And that's episode 3. Well, damn. Let's save that. Okay. I think on that note, that was a quick chapter. Chapter 2 was a lot longer comparatively. I guess there was a lot more to kind of really unpack. But yeah, very quick chapter. So episode 4 is the most recent episode. It just came out this summer. So we'll be playing that next time. I think we're going to end it here. I'm interested to see what this decision here did. It looks like it's going to affect this coming chapter, which is interesting. So we told Polina, is that going to have repercussions on us with Roma and in the gang? Hopefully not, but I bet there's going to be some fallout from that. And if so, I wonder what it is. But we're going to be after we go down that storyline, I think we'll go down the other one too, just to see what that's like. Since we only have one chapter left, I'd be interested to see it from both sides. And we can kind of skip whatever's repeated, because it seems like there's some stuff that's repeated and some stuff that's brand new. So, I wonder if some of our decisions from chapter 2 affected chapter 3 the same way. I think chapter 1 was pretty straightforward. Yeah. Well, Snoop, thanks for being here. Welcome in. Thank you. And anybody else who's kind of lurking, thank you for being here as well. But yeah, we'll see you next time, folks. Be safe, be well, be excellent. Let's see who is live right now. Oh, I hear Midna. 1 second. All right. Let's see who we got here. I wonder if there's anybody else playing Tiny Bunny. There is not, it's just me. All right. So let's see here. All right, let's host Aona. Aona is streaming Armored Core right now, and let's send them some love. So we're gonna do a raid, and we'll see y'all again real soon. Bye everyone.